ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश नम ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरे वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So welcome back to the Bhakti Shastri Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu discussion. The Nectar of Devotion summary study, as Srila Prabhupada titles it. We have been discussing the scriptural proof for the Angas. So yesterday we saw Atha Geetam, the 32nd Anga, scriptural proof. And then 33rd was Sankirtanam, Nam Kirtan, Leela Kirtan, and Guna Kirtan. And the references or the scriptural quotations from Vishnu Dharma and from the Bhagavatam. Nam Kirtan, Leela Kirtan, and Guna Kirtan. We also saw the commentary of Vishwanath Thakur about Guna Kirtan. Then we saw about Japa. What is the definition of Japa? And then the scriptural proof for that from the Padma Puran. Then we went into Vigyapati. Vigyapati is entity, submissions. So we discussed yesterday that there are 3 types of such submissions. One is Sampratnatmika, second is Dainabodhika, third is Lalsa Mai. And we saw the quotations for Dainabodhika and also for Lalsa Mai. Lalsa Mai is especially for yearning for spiritual perfection. So there is our Lalsa Mai prayers. And from Narottam Das Thakur's Pratana, we discussed these 3 kinds of prayers which he has composed, around 56 songs, I said. And some fall in the Sampratnatmika categories, some in the Dainabodhika, which is actually at the stage of Nishtha. Lalsa Mai are those who want to attain spiritual perfection yearning for bhava, or those who have bhava, recite these Lalsamai prayers or submissions. So these are the three categories what we discussed yesterday. Now 36th Anga is Stava part, reciting compositions of prayers, praise, Stava. Ata Stava part. Prokta Manishi Veer Gita Stava Rajadaya Stava. So what is Stava? The wise consider Prokta Manishivi that the Gita and Stavaraj contained in the Gautami Tantra, Gita, Stava, Raj Adaya are examples of Stavas, Stava. So Jeev Goswami gives a very brief commentary. The Gita is called Stava because its contents glorify the Supreme Lord. Stavaraj here refers to the Stava in the Gautamiya Tantra. So these can be in this form of songs. Mostly the Gita is also a song, it is a Gita. And generally from the Vedic tradition, Rupa Goswami is, or Jeev Goswami is giving in his commentary, the Bhagavad Gita as one stava, and there is Stavaraj from the Gautamiya Tantra. Any devotees know about any other stavas in the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition? Have you heard about any stavas? Yes, there is one hand which is raised. Yes, Vaishali Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu, stava means Geet, means you mean to say Venu Geet or Rudra Geet. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, in one sense, because Uddhav Gita is also there, like that. Basically, the contents are glorification of the Lord. And Venu Geet is there. But any other stava which you have heard in the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition? Yes. Yes, Pavan Balagovind Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam Prabhu.
Yes.
Brahma Samhita.
Yes, Brahma Samhita is also falls in the category of stava. Yes. Yes, this also falls in the category, you can say. There is Stava Mala. How many of you have heard Stava Mala? This is composed by Rupa Goswami. And many of the Ashtakams which we recite, these are from Stava Mala. And Stavavali is also written by Raghunath Das Goswami. So there also many prayers of glorification are written by Raghunath Das Goswami. Then there is actually Vishwanath Chakra Thakur has composed what is called as Stavamrit Lahari. So anyone can tell what is the meaning of Stavamrit Lahari? Stava Amrit Lahari. What is the meaning of Stavamrit Lahari? Anyone can try? Mohan Rup Sham Prabhuji, you would like to try? No? Okay, Pavan Balagovind Prabhuji.
Stava Amrita Lahari means the flow. Lahari is the waves, the flow of nectar of Stava.
Yes. Very, very simple. It is Stava, glorification, Amrit, which is like nectar, Lahari, which are like the waves. So that is Stavamrit Lahari. And in this Stavamrit Lahari, the first song is the Samsara Davanal prayers, Guru Ashtakam, what we sing every day morning. We all know that it is composed by Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, but it is from the Stavamrit Lahari. So Vishwanath Chakra Thakur has also composed their Govardhan Ashtakam and Keshava Ashtakam. So many Ashtakams he has, so many prayers and glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead he has composed there. So the Samsara Damanal Guru Ashtakam. In fact, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, Guru Ashtakam, he has composed. Then for the Paradeva, Paraguru means the spiritual master, the grand spiritual master, the great grand spiritual master, like that. For 4 of the spiritual masters, he has composed praise of glorification. So these are very, very famous. Devotees should get accustomed to, especially the prayers of Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Vishwanath Chakra. In general sense, we have the stava, that is the Bhagavad Gita, which is a regular recitation. Devotees should try to recite the Bhagavad Gita or hear the Bhagavad Gita recitation chapter by chapter regularly on a regular basis. This is very important for sadhakas. Later on, when develops taste for Gaudiya Vaishnava literatures, they should go into the prayers of Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur. Very, very important prayers of our Acharya. So that is regarding stava. Now the proof he gives from the Skanda, Yata Skande. Shri Krishna stava ratnoge Esham Jivva Tvalankrita Namasya Muni Siddhanam Vandaniya Divokasam. The perfectest sages, Muni Siddhanam, and the Devatas, Divokasam, respect Namasya Vandaniya, those whose tongues are ornamented. Esham Jivva tu Alankrita, with the abundance of the jewel-like verses of praise of Krishna. Shri Krishna Stava Ratna Oge. Oge means, abundance or the ocean. And Ratna Oge, it is the jewel-like verses of praise of Krishna. So especially the praise of Krishna fall in Stava category. So this is the reference he gives for that. The next proof is from the Narsimha Puran, Narsimhecha. Stotre stavescha devagre yaha stauti madhusudanam sarva papa vinurmukta Vishnu lokam apnuyat. He who praises Madhusudan, yaha stauti Madhusudanam, with stotras and stavas. Stotra, stava, in front of his deity form, Deva Agre, is freed from all sins. Sarva Papa Vinirmukta, and attains the planet of Vishnu. Vishnu Loka Apnuyat. So this is the glory of reciting stava, especially in front of the deity, deity form of the Lord. So this is recommended. We know that the Geet Govind is sung for Lord Jagannath's pleasure, composed by Jayadev Goswami. So they are very, very pleasing for the Lord to hear. The Lord wants to hear his glorification. And when the devotee genuinely with the intention to please the Lord recites these kind of stavas, this is the effect. 2 effects. One is Sarva Papa Vinirmukta, he becomes free from sins. And then ultimately Vishnu Loka Apnuyat, he attains the planet of Vishnu. Now, there is some little technical difference between stava and stotras, but not to go into that. There in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, there is Stotra Ratna. How many of you have heard this Stotra Ratna? It is composed by Yamunacharya. Stotra Ratna. Beautiful prayers in the glorification of Krishna or the Absolute Truth. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written 4 songbooks. He has written 4 songbooks. Geetamala, Geetavali, Sharanagati, and last one, Kalyana Kalpatu. Kalyana Kalpatu. So these are the 4 songbooks written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Geetamala, Gitavali, Sharanagati, and Kalyana Kalpataru. Now, as yesterday I was mentioning that the songs written by Narottam Das Thakur in Pratana and Prema Bhakti Chandrika, one should always have them. Purchase and keep at home, even if you don't open it. One day, the treasure of love of Godhead, when you want to hanker for it, then you can start reciting these prayers. Similarly, these 4 books of Bhaktivinoda Thakur are also very, very important, especially among the 4 is Sharanagati. The prayers, the 6 limbs of surrender, the beautiful prayers are there in that. So, based on Stotra Ratna, composition of Yamunacharya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, taking the verses of Stotra Ratna, he composed songs. He composed songs either in Kalyan Kalpataru or Gitavali, I don't remember. These are very, very beautiful prayers for sadhakas, especially those who want to attain Nishtha in their bhakti. Those who want to become steady in their devotion and become free from the anarthas. The genuine humility which is required of the heart, that kind of mood is imbued in the heart by reciting these prayers of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So these are very, very important prayers, and we should carefully, in our Vaishnava song bhajans, few are there. Few of the bhajans, if you see in the Vaishnava song books, these songs from these books are there, Gitavali, Gitamala and Sharanagati. Devotees can always refer to that, but it is also recommended that you can buy these 4 books and keep and carefully study them. So these are the 4 books, you can note down about it. Now, next limb. The next limb, 37th, is Naivedya Aswada. Naivedya Aswad, we are all quite familiar with it. Our movement runs on prasad, tasting the food remnants of the deity. Atha Naivedya Aswado Yata Padme. That is from the Padma Puran. Naivadyam Annam Tulsi Vimishram Visheshata Padajalena Siktam Yoshnati Nityam Purato Murare Prapnoti Yagyayuto Koti Punyam. He who always eats, Yah Ashnati Nityam, outside the inner sanctum, Purato Murare, the remnants of the Lord's food, Naivedyam Annam, sprinkled with water from the Lord's feet, Visheshata Pada Jalena Siktam, mixed with Tulsi. Tulsi Vimishram achieves the result of 100 billion sacrifices. Prapnoti Ayuta Koti Yagya Punyam, from the Padma Puran. So Jiva Goswami gives a short commentary. The real meaning is after going from or avoiding the temple room of the Lord. So here it was mentioned that Purata Murare, outside the inner sanctum. So we know in the traditional Vishnu temples, the Lord is there in the sanctum sanctorum, is mentioned. It is the inner chambers. So when the Naivedya is offered and the Pujari gives, we should come outside that inner sanctum and then we should honor this prasadam. So that's the point he makes. Purata Murare also means in front of Murari, but such a meaning is rejected since eating in front of the deity is an offense. So we should not eat in front of the deities. So that will be an offense. So that's why, although it means in front of Murari, but this meaning is rejected. So what is the effect? The effect is achieves the result of 100 billion sacrifices. So again, this is not fathomable to us, but we should have faith in the scriptural statements. Atha Padaswado Yata Tatraiva. Padaswado means what? It means water remnants of the Lord. That is Charnamrit. Na danam na haviresham swadhyayo na surarjanam tebi padodakam pitva prayanti paramam gatim. Those who drink the foot water of the Lord, Esham padodakam pitva, achieve the supreme goal. Te prayanti paramam gatim. Even though they have not performed charity, sacrifices, Vedic study, or deity worship. Na danam, na havi, swadhyayo, na surarchanam api. So, because this is a pure devotional act, and by performing this pure devotional act, we ultimately achieve the highest goals. So this is the glory of taking the Charnamrit. Now, anyone knows what is the, usually after the deity Abhishek is done, in the temples, the Charnamrit is available for the devotees to have. And we honor the Charnamrit at the entrance of the temple, or usually next to the deities, maybe there is some place where the Charnamrit is kept, where we have. So what are the prayers we recite while taking the Charnamrit? Anyone knows? There are, two prayers which are well known, which we recite while honoring the Charnamrit. What are those prayers? Anyone? I hope devotees honor Charnamrit whenever they go to the temple. Yes, Pavan Balagovind Prabhuji.
Goes actually, I completely didn't remember. It shows Sarva Papa Haram Punyam, something like that. It goes on, then Padodakam Pavanam, something like that. It goes on.
Yes. Something
Sarva Papa Haram Devam.
Something what you said is very true. So, anyone knows the entire verses? Anyone knows what are the verses? So this also devotees should become familiar. One prayer is Akala Mrityu Haranam, Sarva Vyadi Nashanam, Vishnu Pad Udakam Pitva, Shirasya Dharami Aham. Akala Mrityu Haranam, Sarva Vyadi Nashanam, destroys all the disease. Akala Mrityu Haranam, if by your destiny you're supposed to leave your body now and you're about to take Charnamrit, then it can also avert that kind of a situation if you take Charnamrit. Akala Mrityu Haranam, Sarva Vyadi Nashanam, Vishnu Pad Udaka Pitva. Vishnu Pad Udaka means the Charnamrit. Pitva, Shirasi means I take it on my head. Dharami Aham. So we always take the Charnamrit and then we put it on your head. This I think devotees are aware, right? So this is one prayer. There is another prayer which is more, connected to the Gaudiya tradition, which is, I don't remember the prayer now. It is there in the Vaishnava etiquette manual. Something goes like this, like Radha Krishna Padudakam, Bhakti Bhavena, Sandaryame Aham, something like that it is. I don't recollect the verse now. So there it is more directly referring to Radha and Krishna, the prayers. So this is these two prayers we should recite, or either the first or the second prayer. The second prayer is more a Rasika prayer, you can say. We should recite while honoring the Charnamrit. Very, very important. Now, when we, especially when the Aarti of the Lord is going on, and the devotee, after showing the Aarti to Srila Prabhupada, he comes to the devotees, to take the Aarti Prasad. So, do you know what is the prayer or the mantra we chant? while even taking the arti? Devotees know? Anyone knows? Can raise their hand? Mohan Rup Shah Prabhu is surprised. Oh, there is a mantra for that also. Anyone knows? How many devotees have studied the Vaishnav Sadachar or Vaishnav etiquette manual? How many devotees have studied the Vaishnav Sadachar or the Vaishnav etiquette manual? Raise your hands. Okay, Pawan Balgovind Prabhu has studied it. That's why he answered it. Yes. So you should say Jai Mahaprasad and then take the lamp. And even when the water which is offered to the deities, when that prasad also comes, and somebody sprinkles on it, that time also you should say Jai Mahaprasad. So this is the etiquette, we should actually try to inculcate. That's why Vaishnav etiquette is, Vaishnav Sadachar is very, very important for us. And one should study this Vaishnav etiquette manual and try to put that in our practice, in our devotional lives. Small things are there, but they make tremendous difference in our advancement in Krishna consciousness. Even the tilaka markings which we do on the 12 places in our body, we should sit in a lotus posture, take the tilak, rub it in the water, chant these prayers. There is a mantra in the form of a verse, it is there, or we say Om Keshvaya Namah, Om Narayana Namah, Lalate Keshavam Dhyanan. That is the verse, in fact. Lalate Keshavam Dhyanan. While applying on my lalata, on my forehead, I remember Keshava. So Om Keshvaya Namah we say. And one should not be in a hurry. It takes 1 minute or 2 minutes to do this. But just by doing these activities in the mode of goodness, one can tremendous make advancement in spiritual life. So it's very, very important. So Prabhupada is speaking here about Charnamrit. You can see that he says, usually Charnamrit is mixed with yogurt, and it is tasteful and it has tremendous spiritual value. And then Prabhupada quotes the Padma Puran verse, which we saw. He becomes eligible to enter the kingdom of God if he drinks the Charnamrit which is kept in the temple. In the temple, it is custom that the Charnamrit be kept in a big pot. The devotees who come to visit and offer respects to the deity take 3 drops of Charnamrit very submissively and feel themselves happy in transcendental bliss. So Prabhupada says, just by doing this simple act, you can experience bliss in Krishna consciousness. So we should know also the glory of it. That's also very important. 39. Ata dhupa saurabhyam yata hari bhakti suhodaya. Agranam yad dhare datta dhupochishtasas dhupochishtasya sarvata tad bhavyala dushtanam nasyam karma vishapaham. The action of the nose, nasyam, smelling, granam, granam means smelling, agranam. The incense offered to the Lord, yad harer datta dhupam uchchitasya sarvata, fully destroys the poison of karma. Karma visha apaham, inflicted on those bitten by the snake of material existence. Tad bhava vyala dashtanam. So this is the glory of just dhup saurabhyam. We know that the dhupa is offered to the Lord. Usually what we say is agarbatti. So, but the real term is dhupa, in fact. And smelling the dhupa is very, very important act of devotional service. Now, I don't know about in the foreign countries, but in India, especially these agarbattis are manufactured in chemical factories and you cannot even smell them because it causes difficulty in breathing because of the chemicals. But now in most of the temples, my observation is they use natural dhoops, especially made of cow dung. And especially cow dung is very good for the health. Even for the health, it is very good. But what to speak when that, dhupa, cow dung dhupa is offered to the Lord? When we smell that, what happens? It destroys the poison of karma inflicted by the snake of material existence. Now, Vishnu Chakra Thakur says, smelling the Lord's incense destroys the poison in persons bitten by the snake of samsara. It is the very form of destroying karma. Nasyam karma. Smelling the Aushadhi incense with the nose destroys karma. Now, many might not be aware, especially if somebody is bitten by a snake, and just by, there are some experts, tantrics, who, when a patient comes with a snake bite, he chants some mantras. And just by the mantras, the poison of the snake, he gets relieved. He becomes fully relieved from the poisonous effect of the snake bite. So because of the snake bite, he becomes unconscious and is about to die. But just by reciting the mantras, I know recently, many years back, just 5-6 years back, one of the sannyasis who was residing in one village to recuperate, he mentioned that how a patient had come, 2 people were carrying him because he was bitten by a snake. And they went to this tantric person, and within few minutes he recited some mantras, and this person straight walked by as though nothing had happened. So similarly, this this nasyam means, smelling the dhupa which is offered to the Lord destroys the karma, which is like the poison of karma, which is like the snake of material existence, which is Vishaya, which binds us in the material existence, which can get destroyed. So, Dhupa Saurabhyam is also a very, very important aspect of our devotional service. It is a small thing, but we should be carefully performing this Anga. In fact, after the Tulsi Aarti in the morning, especially Dhupa is offered, which is made of cow dung, I said. And one should go near the dhupa and smell it, not because just for the fragrance, but because it has been offered now to Tulsi, or it has been offered in the Aarti to the Lord. That is an anga of devotional service, and one should carefully perform this anga. Dhup Saurabhyam. Atha Malya Saurabhyam Yata Tantre. Tantre refers to the Tantra Shastra. Agranam Gandha Pushpade Architasya Tapodana Vishuddhi Swadanantasya Grane Nasya Nasyayate. It is said that Abhidhyate it is. The nose smelling, Granasya Agranam, flowers and gandha offered to the infinite Lord. Anantasya Architasya Gandha Pushpader is the cause of complete purification in this world. Iha Vishuddhi Swad from the Tantra Shastra. The phrase Papa Panjara Bandhanam means bondage created by the piles of sinful acts. Actually, this phrase doesn't come here. Oh, it is here, sorry. By mistake, somehow, the commentaries have got swapped. Actually, this should come here. Anyway, I'll read it and then change it. I came to know that somehow. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. For this, the commentary is here down in the next Jiva Goswami's commentary. Anantasya in the verse refers to the infinite Lord, and in this word, and this word is modified as Architasya. Smelling by the senses, Agranam Granasya The flowers and scent offered to the infinite Lord, Architasya Anantasya, are said to be the causes of purification in this world. So this is Jiva Goswami's commentary. Now for the next verse, there is a second proof Jiva Goswami is giving for Malya Saurabhyam, smelling the garlands offered to the Lord. Second proof is giving. From the Agastya Samhitayam, Agranam Gandha Pushpade Architasya Tapodana. Oh, this is the same verse. I don't know, some mistake, maybe maybe while cutting and pasting the PowerPoint slide, there has been some mistake. Actually, the verse is different. Should this be this here? Maybe I'll check and come back to you regarding this. Maybe the verse itself is different because it should be Papa Panjar Bandhanam. Actually, this verse is the same verse, but the verse is different here from the Tantra Shastra. And somehow by mistake, I think the same verse has been put in the PowerPoint. So this I'll come back to you next time. Now the 40th limb of Anga scriptural quotation, Sri Murtir Sparshanam, touching the deity, Yata Vishnu Dharmottare, from the Vishnu Dharmottara. Sprishtva Vishnur Adishtanam Pavitra Shraddhayanvita Papa Bander Vinur Mukta Sarvan Kama Apnuyat. The pure, faithful person, Pavitra Shraddhayanvita, who touches the deity of Vishnu, Sprashtva Vishnur Adishtanam, becomes freed from the bondage of sin. Papa Bander Vinirmukta, and attains all desires. Sarva Kaman Apnuyat. This is a glorification of touching the deity for those qualified to do so. That is Sri Jiva Goswami saying. Now, who are qualified to touch the deity? Who are qualified to touch the deity? Who are qualified to touch the deity? Simple question. Who are qualified to touch the deity? Who is qualified to touch the deity? Second initiated devotees, the pujaris. Yes, it is the pujaris. So that is a great benediction. If you are second initiated and you have deity worship, you can go and touch the Lord's deity lotus feet. Or you can also, while applying the tulsi mixed with chandan at the Lord's lotus feet, you get the opportunity to touch the Lord's lotus feet. And Srila Prabhupada explains, just by the simple act of placing the tulsi at the lotus feet of the Lord, the devotee derives transcendental bliss. He derives transcendental bliss. So these simple acts of devotion have tremendous spiritual value. So that's the point. Touching the deity, Prabhupada mentions here. Okay, now next, let us go to the next Anga. Ata Shri Murte Darshanam Yatha Varahe. That is from the Vara Purana. Now the glory of taking darshan, seeing the deity. What is the glory of going and seeing the deity? Vrindavane tu govindam ya pashyanti vasundhare na te yama puram yanti punya kritam gatim. Lord Varadev is speaking to Mother Earth, who is actually the wife of Varadev, Vasundhare. O Earth, Vasundhare, those who see ya pashyanti Govinda in Vrindavan. Vrindavane tu Govindam. Do not go to the city of Yama. Na te yapuram yanti. But achieve pure bhakti, the goal of all punya. Yanti punyakritam gatim. So Varadev is mentioning the glory of one who goes to see the deities. Now, there is a short commentary here, and after that I have a question. Jiva Goswami comments, speaking of all people, the glories of seeing the deity, and speaking of all forms of the deities, the author, overcome by ever increasing devotion, particularly glorifies seeing Govinda Bhagwan, the most excellent form of the deity, Sham Sundar Krishna. Bhakti is the highest goal of the human being. Savai pumsan parodharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje. Therefore, the wise consider bhakti to be the goal of all pious actions. Thus, punyakritam gatim, the goal of those who do punyas, actually means bhakti, the final goal of all punyas, as understood by the wise. So, what is the highest punya? To perform bhakti. So, that is the conclusion. Now, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur also makes some points. Punya Kritam Gatim, the goal of those who execute pious acts, is a phrase to attract the materialist, glorifying bhakti for material results. So yesterday I was mentioning, why sometimes, in some of these scriptural quotations, there are so-called like material goals. You will attain, liberation, you will attain svarga, you will become free from all papa. We don't practice bhakti to become free from papa. We practice bhakti for the pleasure of Krishna. That is the definition of bhakti. So why it is done? To attract the materialist, glorifying bhakti for material results. The author will later explain that the chief result of bhakti for those without material desire is attraction to the Lord in the form of rati or bhava. So this is the chief result. But those who are not yet qualified for bhakti, when they hear these verses and go and take darshan of the deities, actually indirectly they are performing devotional activities. Slowly their material desires will get purified, and ultimately they will attain the highest goal, that is prema bhakti. So that is why in some of these verses you see there are material results mentioned. Now, with respect to having darshan of the deities, now what should be the mood of the devotees, especially what should the mood where we go to the temple to have darshan of the deities? What should be our mood when we go to the temple to have darshan of the deities? Anyone would like to say something about it? Eager to see the Lord? Okay. This is Satvik. Anyone else? To see the beauty of the Lord? Anyone else? What should be the mood of the Lord? Humble, submissive, with gratitude. No, this is what I'm not looking. What should be the without any ego? Okay. Actually, we should go to have darshan of the deities, eager to see the beautiful lords starting from the lotus. It's all, I want to go and see the darshan. Actually, our mood should be, let the Lord see me. That is why I go to take, so that the Lord can see me. So this should be our mood. It is a very, very simple thing, but a deep philosophical point which Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur makes. Once Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we know that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was doing a Shatakoti Nama Japa Yagya, chanting every day 3 lakh names. 3 lakh every day. And he did this for 9 years and 9 months in Rudradweep. And one incident happened. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to wear spectacles, and he had gone to take the darshan of Gandharvika Giridhari. These are the main deities at the Chaitanya Math, which is the headquarters of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was not wearing his specs, and from the side, he was standing there and to have darshan of the deities. And one of the devotees said, you can go in the front straight and have darshan. So there Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that real darshan means not that I see the Lord. What I can see the Lord with these eyes made of flesh. What I can see. Let the Lord see me. So that was his mood. That was his mood. And even Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, whenever he went to the Puri Parikrama, whenever there was a yatra, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur never went in front of Jagannath to have the darshan of Jagannath. He always stood behind the Garud Stamba, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to stand. And he used to say that, Lord will be looking at his pure devotee Garuda. And, backside Garuda, if we are standing, then the Lord's, darshan, the Lord will see us. And then he will bestow his mercy. So that is our mood, and we will follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also took darshan. So one should be eager, definitely, as sadhakas, but in what mood? The mood is that not that I will see the Lord will see me. That is why I go. Now, when I say I will see the Lord, I am still in the mood of enjoyer. This is a very important philosophical point, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his whole philosophy establishes on what is called as the Drishta Drishya Vichar. Drishta means seer, S-E-E-R. Drishya means seen. Drishta Drishya Vichar. Drishta means seer, S-E-E-R, and Drishya means seen. So the Drishta is the Lord, and Drishya is me, the Jiva. So let me be seen by the Lord, not that I will see the Lord. When I say Drishta, when I take the role of Drishta, means I want to see the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada said, don't try to see Krishna. He repeated Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Serve in such a way that the Lord wants to see you. So if we try to apply this principle, we can become free from this consciousness of I am the enjoyer. So once in one of the Gaudiya festivals, you all know Malpoa. Malpoa is a very sweet preparation. And one devotee was having Malpoa, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's very favorite disciple, Sundaranand Vidya Vinod, he said, oh, my dear Vaishnava, consider whether you are eating the Malpoa or the Malpoa is being eaten by you. He said. So this Gaudiya Vaishnava became very disturbed hearing this. What does this senior devotee think about himself? Do I don't have money? Is my wife not capable of making Malpoas and feeding me? Why did he say like this? So becoming disturbed, he wrote a letter to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. This is the comment your devotee made while I was honoring Malpoa. I have enough money to make, buy Malpoa. My wife is capable of making Malpoa and feeding me. So why did this devotee say like this? So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur laughed when he received that letter. And then he gave a reply. You did not understand the deeper import of what my disciple spoke. Don't take honor prasad in the mood of Drishta, that I am the enjoyer of prasad. I'm the enjoyer, and what is being enjoyed is the prasad. But in the mood of let the prasad enjoy me. Now, this consciousness is not so easy to come. It's not at all easy. I've been enjoyed by the prasad. I'm not the enjoyer. The prasad is bhokta. Krishna has enjoyed it. And I am enjoyed by the, I've been enjoyed by the prasad. But this kind of devotional consciousness, we need to inculcate. That is why many times I have heard the statement after the prasadam is being honored, a devotee say, "Oh, I enjoyed the prasad." And that means we are still in the mood of a enjoyer. We are still in the mood of enjoyer. I honored the prasad. Because prasad is the Lord's mercy, I honored the prasad. That is why in the traditional Vedic culture, the wife is to first serve the husband. And she is to have in the same plate what is left by the husband. And she is to not relish the prasad, she is to relish that, this is being honored by my husband. That mood. So prasad is the mercy of the Lord, which has been, Krishna is bhokta, he is the enjoyer. And after he has enjoyed, then it comes in the form of prasad. And we should see in a spirit of mercy. Oh, this is the Lord's mercy he has given. How merciful is the Lord. This should be our mood, and this mood we should honor prasad. So in that context, I just discussed the mood of drishta and drishya vichar. So this is a very important philosophical principle, and it takes many years to bring on this devotional mood and consciousness. So there is one question. Suryaji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Prabhuji. Prabhuji, once that old lady, she climbed on the shoulder of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to see to see Jagannath. What was that mood? It was might be.
That mood was more of the eagerness to have the darshan of Jagannath. That is called as utkanta. Utkanta. It will come up in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Ut means up. Kanta means throat. So that eagerness to have the darshan of the Lord. Aturta, it is called Aturta. Samutkanta. Samutkanta means samyak rupena utkanta. Perfect or complete eagerness to have the darshan of the Lord. So this kind of eagerness is also necessary for the devotees. As I mentioned, many had typed eagerness, yes. But I was speaking about the mood of let the Lord see me. What I can see with my eyes. That's why once Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was giving a lecture and the darshan opened and the devotees left the lecture and went to have darshan of the deities. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur commented, "Oh, they have gone for eye exercise." Exercise of the eyes. So what with his eyes? You will see stone and wood. No, you will not see the spiritual form of the Lord. That requires pure vision, the vision of Bhava Bhakta or Prema Bhakta's vision. So we should be in the mood of let the Lord see me. So both these aspects are true. That eagerness also should be there. With that eagerness, what should be our mood? Our mood should be that let the Lord see me. And that is why even when we dress neatly, we dress neatly. Why? Because that I should look nice or proper. So that I should go in the front of the deities and I should be very neat and clean when the Lord sees me. That should be the mood. I explained, I think, I don't know, many in some of the class, one class when I had gone to Gokarn, in the early morning, 6:30, the household ladies, they were dressed, in very beautiful saris, as though they are going for a marriage with a lot of jewelry. I was surprised. What is this? But this kind of dressing to go and see the Lord is a very right mood to go, because ultimately the Lord will see us and we should be very beautifully dressed. But our consciousness, to come to this level is not so easy. That we dress not that beautiful, but the Lord can have my darshan, and I should be very neat and clean before the Lord. So that should be our mood, even when we dress ourselves. Why did the gopis dress so beautifully? Because ultimately, Krishna will be pleased by seeing us. So that was that consciousness, that devotional consciousness. So I hope it is clear, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Okay. So the next limb. We saw this. Now, Artika Darshanam Yata Skande. What is the glory of just having the darshan of the Artika, the Arti which is performed by the Lord? Kotayo Brahmahatyanam Agama Kotaya Dahati Alokamatrena Vishnu Sartikam Mukham. The face of Vishnu, Vishnu Mukham, lit by the light from the Artika lamp. Aloka Matrena Sartikam, burns up, Dahati, 10 million sins of killing Brahmanas. Kotaya Brahma Hatyanam, and 10 million sins committed in the past and to be committed in the future. Agama, Agama, Kotaya, Skanda Puran. Now again, when we hear this, just by having the Artika which is offered to the lamp of Vishnu can burn 10 millions of sins of Brahmanas. It's unfathomable for us. But we should have faith in these statements. Now, there is that famous story in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya that when Sri Ramanacharya was attending one of the darshans of the Lord, there was the Utsav Murti darshan which was going on. The Utsav Vigrahas were going on procession, and Ramanacharya and all the devotees were following this procession, because you know that Anuvarja, following the procession, is also one of the limbs of devotion. And Ramanacharya saw a very strange scene, that there was one person who was holding an umbrella, and it was Dhanur Das, in fact. And the lady was a prostitute. And he was holding the umbrella and walking, from his back, because he was so much absorbed in the beauty of this lady that he wanted to always have her darshan. And that's why he was walking from backside, he was walking not straight, but from backside, always having the darshan of this beautiful lady. Ramanuja, seeing this scene, the Lord's Utsav Murti Vigraha darshan is going on, and what is this person doing? He felt compassion. So he sent one of his disciples and called him. And he told, what is this? You're absorbed in the beauty of this lady. The Lord's Utsav Vigraha is going on, and you are doing this act. So Dhanur Das, that time, before he was initiated, he very frankly admitted that my eyes are so much attracted to the beauty of this lady that I cannot take away my eyes from this lady. And that's why I don't want to miss that darshan. That's why I'm walking from backside. Imagine this 1,000 years back in Sri Rangam, in a holy place. If somebody is doing this act, how would we see this? But he was very frank and sincere, and he admitted this, that I'm so much attracted to this beauty of this lady. So Ramacharya said, if I am able to show something more beautiful than this, then what? I'll be attracted to that, he said. So Sri Ramanacharya took Dhanur Das to the darshan of Ranganath. And the Ranganath Aarti was going on. And the Pujari was waving the lamp to the Mukha of the Lord. And Srila Ramanacharya fervently prayed, actually, to the Lord to give him Divya Darshan, divine darshan to Dhanur Das. And when the Aarti lamp was offered to the Mukha, when Dhanur Das saw, by the mercy of Ramanacharya, he had a divine vision by which he could fathom the beauty of Ranganath. So all his sins were destroyed, and by that divine vision, he had actual darshan of Ranganath, and he became a pure devotee. And then you know how favorite was Dhanurdas for Ramanacharya. So just like Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita was given divine eyes to behold the Vishwarup. So because we are still not free from sin, our divine vision is still not, our Pragya Chakshu, it is called. Pragya Chakshu means the Antarik Chakshu is still not, free from all sins, and we are not having that divine vision by which we can see. But this is the effect. What happens that all the sins get destroyed when we see the Artika lamp which is offered to the face of Vishnu. So that is the point I had to discuss. Now the next limb, 42nd, Utsava Darshanam, seeing the festivals. Utsava Darshan Yata Bhavishuttare, from the Bhavishuttar Puran. Ratastam ye nirikshante kautukenapi keshavam devatanam gana sarve bhavanti swapachadaya. The dog eaters and other low persons, swapachadaya, who joyfully see ye kautuke napi nirikshante. Kautuke means utkanta also, samutkanta. Kautuke means lot of eagerness. Keshava on the chariot, Ratastam Keshavam, all become associates of the Lord. Sarve Devatanam Gana Bhavanti. They become the associates, they become their ganas, they become the associates of the Lord. Jiva Goswami. The chariot, Ratha festival, represents all other festivals as well. All those, Sarve, who see the Lord on the chariot, and even those who are low born or have bad qualities, Sapachadave, become associates of the Lord. Devtanam Gana. They become part of their Lord's group. So we have the Utsav Vigraha, darshan. Sometimes in festivals, we have the Rath Yatra. Also within the temple also we do sometimes Rath Yatra. So all this, festivals during the Utsavs, these darshans, what we have, this is the benefit which Bhavishuttar Puran is narrating. Now, the next limb, Adi Shabdena Puja Darshanam. The word Adi refers to seeing the worship. Puja Darshanam, Yata Agni, that is the Agni Puran. Pujitam Pujamanam Va, Yaha Pashet Bhaktito Harim, Shraddaya Modamanastu, Sopi Yoga Phalam Bhayet Labet. He who sees the Lord, Yaha Pashet Harim, with devotion, Bhaktito, faith and joy, Shraddaya Modamanastu, after he is worshipped or while he is being worshipped. Pujitam Pujamanam Va, attains eternal service to the Lord. Sa api yoga phalam labet. This is from the Agni Puran. Next is Shravanam. Now I think from here we have completed seeing the deity, observing Aarti and celebrations of the Lord. Now from here begins the 10th chapter of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu summary study, Nectar of Devotion summary study. Chapter 10, Prabhupada entitles as hearing. Shravanam. Shravanam is now what we are seeing is the 43rd Anga. From here on is chapter 10. So I will take Shravanam a little bit, one, and then we will wind up today because there is one slide which we have to discuss quite in detail, that is Tat Kripa Ikshanam, expecting the mercy of the Lord, which will take a long time. So this we will take up in the next class only. But I will just begin with the 10th chapter with Shravanam and we'll wind up for today. Yes. Now, what is Shrutir Bhavet? Hearing means listening to the name, pastimes, and qualities of the Lord. Hearing the Lord's name, hearing the Lord's pastime, and hearing the qualities. All three refer to Shravanam. Tatra Nama Shravanam Yata Garude. So the hearing of the glories of the Lord's name. Samsara Sarpadashta Nashta Chetisik Nashta Cheshti Iha Beshakam Krishneti Vaishnavam Mantram Shutva Mukto Bhave Nara. Hearing the Vaishnava mantra, Krishneti Vaishnavana mantra, which is the only effective medicine, Eka Vaishikam. Vaishikam means medicine. In Ayurveda, Vaishikam is medicine. To counteract the bite of the snake of samsara. Samsara sarpa dashta nashta cheshta. A man becomes liberated. Mukto bhaven nara. This is from the Garuda Puran. Charitra Shravanam Yata Chaturte. So from the fourth canto, Charitra Shravanam is there. Actually, there is only one verse, that is the 40th verse, but I've included 39th verse because there is connection between the two verses. I will read the translation. Where there are devotees, Yatra Bhagavata, with pure hearts and pure conduct, proper conduct, Sadho Vishada Ashaya, who are eager to hear Shravana Vyagra Chetasa, discussion of the qualities of the Lord, Bhagavad Guna Anukhatanam, profuse streams of nectar, Piyusha Shesha Sharita, of the pastimes of the Lord, Mad Adbhuti Charitra, emanating from the mouth of saintly devotees, the Mahaprasad of the devotees, Mahat Mukhaharita, flows everywhere, Parita Shravanti. Those who drink, ye pibanti, that nectar, ta, with firm ears, guard karne, with constant thirst, avitrishno, O king, Ripa, will not be touched, na sparshanti, by hunger, thirst, fear, lamentation, and illusion. Bhaya shoka moha. So, where is nectar stored? Some might say that nectar is there, which came from the Samudra Manthan, which is there in the Samudra Manthan Leela. The Devatas, Asuras, did the churning. Some might say nectar is in heaven because, we know that there is Som Ras. But the real nectar is where? The real nectar is there in the mouth of the pure devotees who are at pure heart and who are at pure proper conduct. And from them, when we hear, that nectar flows, Piyusha Shesha Sarita, and that flows in the form of Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha ka sagar flows from their mouths, from these saintly devotees, and it is like a Mahaprasad for the devotees. And one who drinks it, what is that? How we should drink it? Gada Karune, with firm ears, very attentively we should hear, and we should have thirst for hearing Krishna Katha. And then, if we have this kind of a mood, we will be not touched by hunger, thirst, fear, lamentation, and illusion. When will the class get over? We might think like that. That means we are still not having that eagerness to hear and the thirst to hear Krishna Katha. Guna Shravanam Yata Dwadashe. Yastuttama Shloka Gunanuvada Sangiyate Bhikshanam Amangalagnaha Tam Eva Nitya Shunyat Abhikshanam Krishne Malam Bhaktim Abhipsamana. The person who desires pure devotional service to the Lord. Krishne Amalam Bhaktim Abhipsamana. This is Guna Shravanam. Should hear Shunya, the narrations of the Lord. Uttama Shlokasya, glorious qualities. Uttama Shloka Gunanuvada. The constant chanting of which, Yastu Abhikshanam Sangiyate, destroys everything inauspicious. Amangala Na. The devotee should engage in such listening in regular daily assemblies and should continue his hearing throughout the day. Tam eva nityam shunayat Abhikshanam. So this is about Guna Shravanam. One was Charitra Shravanam and the first was Nam Shravanam. So in Shravanam there is Nam Shravanam, Charitra Shravanam and Guna Shravanam. Now Tat Ata Tat Kripa Ikshanam is, expecting the mercy, the Lord's mercy, is a very beautiful discussion. That is the 44th limb. This will require at least 15-20 minutes of discussion. So we will have it in the next week's class discussion. So we have finished, we have come now to 44 Angas. The remaining, we will go one by one like this and finish the 64 Anga limb discussion. Any questions, any clarification anyone has? Okay, then, so we will stop here. Shri Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. Hare Krishna.